You got a show?
Boom, boom, boom. We live. Yeah. All right. So you better start sharing these things. We are live. We are live. We are live.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello
Good
to
evening,
everyone.
guys.
You phone on silent, okay, so just making sure, you know. When you people just come and I'm gonna met when the song ping, 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 ping. I'm sure. You know what?
Sound vibrate.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Welcome to DeBrief. Happy to be here, each and every one of you. Just give us a moment, as usual, to share our show. We know that people are waiting to log on. We got an interesting open discussion day. Please share as you come on. Please share with your people as well, so that others will know that we are on and we are live. So if you got some friends and if so people, please just share with us as well, and give us the moment just to share. Yeah, and then we will go from there. But we know there got some groups and some people that are literally waiting for us to go live. As I said, we are having an open discussion today, so we want to hear from you, things that you want to talk about. We are waiting for the others to join us, but as usual, they're operating on the Bajan time, and which is mean they don't always be early. But nevertheless, we don't want to keep you waiting. And some of us have a very short. This is going to be a very short program today because you know what's going on, and we have other things to do. So we're going to try to keep it.
What things you gotta do?
I'll go on to my wife.
Okay, that's good, man.
Soon you'll be saying that one of these days, right?
I know that, boy.
I get one of my pookie. My boo
We're still
boo.
getting one. She husband.
My who?
Husband.
We get one of we pookies.
Alright, and one of these days I'll be you. When I grow up, as the saying goes.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, so I just want to say good night. I said if you can, we are just sharing the links. If you could always as well share. I can't share the link on the thing. Just go on. Do you know what I mean? The technology. You go on Facebook page.
You know, answer adapt to the young people thing.
Well, I see gray hairs growing, so probably copy the link there. Somebody, you know, and share it to this young boy. All right. So as I said, we have open discussion there. Where do you just let us know what topics you want to talk about, some things that we want to hit at. So you know, we're in a very interesting season as well. I'm still sharing. I'm like in a million group, though. I realize I'm in a million and one group, and literally. So wherever you think that the discussion could go, let us go there. Let us have a discussion. And we are allowing for you tonight to choose some of these topics so that we can have a really interesting open discussion. So feel free to put some topics out there. Let's be mindful of what we say though and how we do things. I know people like to be excited based on these things, but let me just keep it PG-13 if we can, as much as possible. So as I said, good night. My name is Keemar Safri. We have a number of people joining quickly. Your host, we have Jermaine Beckford, and we have a lovely young lady with us who would be looking to join us more regularly, which is good. And everybody, if you should know her, if you don't know her by now, Crystal Austin, former candidate in the general election.
We seem to have a lot of candidates on this program.
Candidates and potential candidates, you know, all are the same.
Birds of a feather?
Yeah, flock together.
Well, I am no candidate. I probably will never be one.
Oh, please. Right? Yeah. Right? So we just, you know,
The Barrios, they probably doesn't want me as a candidate.
Well, you never know. So we have an open discussion night where we want to hear from you, different on the topics. I want us to night.
If I what?
Share the link.
If I can.
Share the link. Jeremy gonna copy the link inside the thing.
I can copy it, but it's not happening.
That's good. That's the link. Oh, Jermaine. Right. So, as I said, we have Crystal Austin here with us. We have Jermaine Beckford. We are your hosts for tonight. So again, we having an open discussion. Like what it is you want to talk about, let us know. But if you can start the frank discussion, we see, you know, we're in the politicals. Are you running, Keemar? Are you a potential candidate?
What's that question?
I don't know where you start these things. I'm not a potential candidate in election? No, I'm not, sir. So that covers that conversation. No, I'm not.
I have a different opinion, Mahmoud, because this week we saw Kimar put up a very interesting post on Facebook regarding mixing politics and religion. Right? So persons were putting 101 together and probably getting 11 or 2. Right? And we try to figure out who was the post aimed at or for. So Kimar, probably you can.
You walk and show me on the bus though, you clown. Listen. No, I think that whatever.
You before.
Yo, man, serious then.
Before the public.
You gonna let public know what's going on, brother?
No, the thing is.
Court of public opinion.
That post was geared at looking at the possibility of, and again, I find often things Beijing don't read or they read passwords. So the post talks about innocently branded, whereas oftentimes they incorporate people in the musical industry and other things, and when they do that, people see you at a gospel concert or people see you at a particular political event because of the artist. The artist may be you're a follower of that artist, but you go on to the event and somebody take a picture of you and you're branded this or that. Cool. Example, Anthony Wood was seen at a DLP event and all of a sudden in a blue shirt. No,
he was?
Yeah, I was in the paper and all of a sudden you hear that the man is a D. So that was, you see my case and point there. That by going to certain, I know I love John Yard and I love my little ambassador Trinity. Now, if I gone to support Trinity, not checking the red shirt or the blue shirt or anything that I put on, and everybody in the house know that we know have a blue shirt or red shirt. No, not for party, but because of color we like. And you go to there now, you innocently go in and you there train on you artists, and all of a sudden because of who you are, you're captured. And all of a sudden, Kimar or Crystal in the B or the D party, and that is the problem I have.
Well, here's my take on it. One of those artists contacted me and asked me for my opinion if they should take the job, and they were concerned about everything
public
you just
opinion,
said about
right.
public opinion and being branded and even being victimized down the road for associating themselves with one or the other. And I said to them, to be honest, with COVID and the fallout of the entertainment industry, I don't think that anybody in their right mind should penalize an artist for taking legitimate work at this point in time. Nobody.
Right.
Because things are so brown for our artists right now. So I told the person, if you can afford to say no to it and you feel that it's better to say no, then say no. But if you know that as an artist, you cannot afford to say no, take it. It's legitimate work. Go ahead and make your money.
And correct. And I have no fault with that at all. Copy last one. I have no fault at all with that, Crystal. That any of the artists, but I'm just saying, our court of public opinion needs to be looked at seriously in Barbados. You understand? Because oftentimes you are ridiculed in a public space. Look at Anthony Wood. The man said, "Look, I choose to go where I choose to go," but that's the lick that he getting now. Now each of our faces are well known. Crystal, you have to be seen at that event. People would think use a D. And not only, I'm not talking only about a general problem. No, here's the problem. BLP people, because of the hype of where we are right now, see you at a DLP event, use a D. BL, vice versa. And that is not, I think I'm a political enthusiast if that's the correct wording. I like to go to campaigns. I like to go on the set and see things, and I like to hear. Simon, I want to part you is, I talk about unnecessary posts, used to be here, you late, right? And you're talking about code of public opinion, and you're talking about, I lost my train of thought about Simon, right, so you because of the season, you are seeing places, people want to lash you because you feel that because you go somewhere, you feel that they automatically think that you associated. No, and some of us are love the political rallies and things. And then in the last election, I went everywhere. I went to B. I went to.
You went to BLP meetings last election?
Online.
Because I know that you spoke at BLP meetings.
Right, I went to a few. All right.
I spoke at some with you.
And so be it. But I think that we were even open to open-minded people as we are, was open to hear what people had to say. It does not mean that you are associated with a party. But people that I will call the yard foul behavior, like to go and slam you against the wall because they see you somewhere. They wonder, everybody want to guess what is T. Marsafri, what is Chris Austin affiliation to a party. Yet nobody know what they're affiliated to. Why all the time it got to be what we affiliated with.
Well,
when you affiliated with online.
I'm going to say something to you.
The court no right.
I'm going to say something to you.
Without the rum.
As you call them, the yard folks, right?
Your foulism behavior sucks.
The yard folks need scratch green.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Sorry for my late arrival.
The yard folks need scratch green, right? And I can go to a BLP meeting, DLP meeting, UPP meeting. I can even go and listen to Solutions Barbados One Man Party.
I not
right? You might be a one man audience.
I can't agree with that. Please leave.
Right?
Grandpa Glenville alone.
Hold on. I like Granville, but Granville is a one man party. Let me get real.
I think
but have you know that I went to my neighborhood shop today and I saw
Granville.
Wonderful.
Manifesto.
Oh.
Yeah, I see it on the shop too. I went there to buy some chicken wings and I see it on the shop. I couldn't read it though, come out. It said it wasn't too good.
Well, I can go to any meeting I want, right? The reality situation is this.
What meeting you was at?
I know your business.
What meeting you was at? You walk out and check me on the bus. What meeting were you on? Jeremy and Beckford, which meeting? Because I sure know Auntie Wood wasn't the only body there at the meeting. Let me hear,
As I was driving coming down,
I
parked my car, stopped one side and checked my phone. As I was driving coming down, I stopped and I put my car in park.
You sure?
And I was looking at the messages. And I heard you discussing the whole issue, but you got a lot of licks for your comments with regards to...
Marcel been in the public here for 10 years. I can hold my blowers.
My whole thing is that I think that the gospel concert was fitting. It was a Sunday.
You would?
First of all, it was a Sunday.
God bless you.
There was nothing wrong with
it. It was a Sunday. And
it was a good concert.
It brought out the numbers.
Of course.
People were worshiping God.
And online, it was very well attended too.
Yeah, very well.
I subscribed online. I went to it online. It was wonderful.
Listen, I will say this. Again, back to what I was saying. I work for me. Alright? I am not employed by the Barbados Labour Party. I am not employed by the Democratic Labour Party. The yard folks, as you call them, can't tell me what to do.
True.
Because if I had a late bill and I can't get paid, I am guaranteed 1,000% positive that they would not help me pay my late bill for the reconnection fee if I were to get the money from somebody. So, in that ambient, I can say this. I can go wherever I please. I can do what I please.
Fair enough.
Because when I came on this earth, the last time I checked, my mother pushed me out.
All right.
And when I leave the earth, I will go in a casket. Alone.
But I just think that people misunderstood it. I targeted the DLP because the DLPs who had it this Sunday.
Yeah. But you targeted the DLP?
He did.
I said
people will just take out that
just take out, but they didn't see that I was.
They would take that one clip of this whole video recording. If I targeted the DLP, but
that's fine. They could do what they want because. But here's what I can afford to put in there. You know what? And I can't. And I'm running for the election.
But people may say you're operative because you made a point like that. At a time like that.
Hold on. Let me finish the statement so that they can all want to take it out. I said I targeted in the sense that the DLP was the person having the hosting the event the next day. It wasn't a Biden target in a way that I wanted to pull down the party. Well, people may perceive it how they want to perceive it. Fine. I had some artists that come and said, "Boy, I get where you coming from." The same that perform. I said, "Look, I see where you coming from as in a brand,
right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily that I said, hey, if the money coming, wherever the money coming, take the money, even if it was free."
But even if they're not getting paid, I think the whole thing.
Even if it was free.
My issue was. Once the gospel artists themselves are not necessarily verbally endorsing on stage, endorsing candidates or endorsing persons, it can be seen that they're just doing their function as being ministers of God.
But the BLP had that. The BLP had that at some of their event where some of the artists that performing were saying, "This is my prime minister" before the election. So I'm saying that some did that and you knew automatically
there's a B.
The D can't call that boy to perform.
Right.
I want to.
Let me hear Crystal. Sorry, let me hear Crystal and then go cross.
I can't understand where Kimar is coming from because we live in a country where we have seen administrations change and people get let go from their jobs. Victimization is not something foreign to Barbados.
That's right.
So I can understand where your sentiment was coming from in terms of them associating themselves with a particular party and taking the chance of being branded. But I honestly cannot say that I have heard or seen since the last election. I know they can say it's a sympathizer, but I haven't seen or heard any of
You're a sympathizer
those.
of which party?
Let me just finish. I haven't seen any evidence of people being victimized.
It has happened.
Anyway.
On Facebook, now some of the artists said to me that they were victimized before they even went. Some of them said that they got caught because they spoke to me, and some of them said, "Yes, Afri." We were like, I personally was like double checking, and as you said, some people call you for opinion.
People that went to the
no, artists that perform. You said one artist call you for opinion.
One call me and asked me if they should do it.
When I did the comment, one person, I got like 2 or 3 calls, and they were saying, yeah, I was double thinking.
But they were actually victimized. That's what I'm asking.
In comments, some people were saying they shouldn't do it. Just like I was saying that they shouldn't do it.
I understand the hypothesis of the situation, but have we heard of people being terminated because they were affiliated with the former government?
Not terminated in terms of jobs.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
ask yourself this.
This is something that has happened in the past. This is something that's not foreign to Barbados, and certainly your comment really zeroed in on that. That people in the past were mindful of being associated with B or D because they knew that if the D's were in and they were a known B, they would be followed and vice versa. But I can't say that I've seen that I've actually seen the opposite.
But you
see people embrace it?
I've seen the government embrace people from all parties.
Based on their skill level.
Based on their skill level. They brought in Granville right after the election to look at the sewage.
He is a qualified engineer.
What I will say is this, and Crystal just alluded to it. The position of the government or the sitting government at times is always at odds with the position of the so-called, as you call them, yard fowls.
That's right.
Because I remember you were telling me, Kimara, on Sunday, that there are people.
Sunday, man, see you Sunday.
Not Sunday.
you were somewhere that couldn't be Sunday.
Praise the Lord.
We were talking on the phone, Kimara.
Yeah.
No Sunday. I understand.
Saturday.
Oh, yesterday, right?
Saturday.
You were indeed telling me, and you made a very valid point that a minister in government may not be the one to victimize you because minister may not even be interested in anything like that. However, there are people who consider themselves quote unquote supporters and think that they're acting in your best interest and they're going out there under the guise of your name and victimizing people. Then you, the person, you're like, but I never authorized that. I would never engage in such activity. So, and it is those persons that you need to get rid of. And hold on. With reference to the artists, a lot of the people who will tell the artists that they shouldn't go and perform and they shouldn't this and
I would never tell them that.
Right? A lot of those people already have a job, some of them are pensioners who actually get pension every month.
That is also tax.
Which then reinforces the point I made earlier that a lot of our artists, most of our 99% of our artists saw during COVID. So if there's an opportunity for them to make money, that's why I told the person, if you can afford to not take the job and you don't want to put yourself out there to be branded and you feel that something bad will happen, then don't do it. But if you know that as an artist, this is money that you need to get from point A to point B to make the month a little less long.
That's right.
Please take the job.
But the thing about it with gospel artists under the banner of
and
gospel
God
music,
God ain't for being God.
There's only a select number of good gospel artists. So I'm not surprised if the Barbados Labour Party holds a gospel concert.
Same artists.
Some of the same artists will be used. They're very popular, that have music, that have albums and songs and so on. So I think I can't totally agree with everything that Kimar said, but I understand where you're coming from.
Just agree. As I said, the premise of it was looking only
to protect
at victimization. I don't care if you do go and perform or not. That's your rights as an agent, just like it is the rights, as Anthony Wood said in his article, for him to go to anything. And listen, I'm open to that. That was never my. Here's the thing, as I said that many times, Bajans read and
they don't understand,
skip words because even when certain people posted and had issues with it, and I spoke to them directly.
So-
They said, okay, I understand. And then they think, well, I may not be as articulate in my writing as some may. I remember Amber, she was on one of the articles as well. So Amber said, I understand what you mean, but it could have been worded differently. So I understood Amber by that. So we may not word things just like some of us are not speakers, some of us are not writers. I'm best if they had a university to do oral classes. I would come up on top. But when it comes to
speech and toastmasters and talking, not oral classes. No. You mean classes?
Only say remember catch that.
You mean oratory?
Oratory, yeah, that's right.
Thank you. The big word. Don't catch out that part now. But anyhow, we got some comments. Simon, you don't got your phone to this?
I have my phone.
We'll pull it out. Somebody can't wait for you.
Sorry.
But I understand where Dominique is at. And I said, please do not think it was in any way of pointing the fingers at the Democratic Labour Party to say people can't perform for them or against them. Because I have no problem. But anyhow, I end up deleting the post because again.
Yes. So
Because
to bring
because the post, as I said, people were taking it out of context, and I did not want the post to be taken out of context.
All right, so we got some comments here. We got some Dominique Tudor.
Dominic, go ahead.
All right, so we welcome Amber, Wayne, Hoyt, and so on who are watching. Dominique Tudor. The attempted assassination of Bob Marley occurred in Jamaica on December 3rd, 1976, when 7 armed men raided the house of reggae musician Bob Marley 2 days before he was to stage a concert in an attempt to quell recent violence. Politicians from across the political spectrum hoped to capitalize on Marley's support. While Marley remained neutral, many viewed him as tacitly supporting the Prime Minister Michael Manley and his Democratic Socialist People's National Party. Marley and 3 others were shot but all survived. The gunmen were caught, tried, and executed. Keelan Mears, I know of persons that have shirts of both parties and change them when they drive around to hear issues from both parties. That is true.
It's
I
a
know
fact.
that. Slug it down. Victimized? Who? Master who, man? If people are bold enough to tell you those things, then they should come forward. Most people tell you things behind the scenes and in private because they are lies and don't want you to call them out on their lies. Stop letting people tell one to jump.
I agree.
In private. Well, if someone was victimized, let them come forward and say that so we can deal with it. Suppose those people are telling lies and gassing what up. Wayne Hoyt agreed, Jermaine, like an MP secretary had an encounter with recently.
I could go back up to Amber. I think Amber had a good point. But I touch on.
We can't see it. I can't see it now. It's like
Amber, I actually believe it's opposite. So them don't want to hear. Oh no, sorry. She's replying. She had a very good point up further, but you know, we'll get back to that. But
I wanted to not necessarily change the discussion, but to talk about the type of politics that we, as future parliamentarians, politicians, will want to see in Barbados.
1, 2, 3. Remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Shut up.
I think
1, 2, 3, 4.
One of these things does not belong.
I think one of the things that we learn is that it is a meritocracy. So your efforts, your skill, what you bring to the table should matter more than your political affiliation.
You're saying it is or it should be?
It is mostly, I think Barbados is mostly a meritocracy. I can't say that I have necessarily suffered under a Barbados Labour Party administration.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, I can't say that. I will not go on record and say, but I suffered, they do this with me, blah, blah. I have had some pushback.
All right, you got proper roads, so you could do it. You're not suffering.
I have had some challenges and so on, but regardless, what I can say is that a person's talent makes room for them. And it's important that when we go forward, regardless of a person's political persuasion, we need to have a Barbados that is built on the fundamentals of hard work and having a discipline. Whatever your skill is, if your skill is banking, if your skill is in education, or your skill is helping the homeless, regardless of which administration may take the reins of power, it is important that everyone is given that opportunity.
Even if it's Granville.
Yeah, even if, of course, even if it's Granville. And I don't think Granville will necessarily say he has suffered under this administration either.
You gave Granville a lot of free shout-outs on this show.
Granville said that he's never given the opportunity to fully articulate what he has to say. So,
but you see, by having a political party and having your own political platforms, it gives you that avenue to do so. He writes a lot of interesting articles on social media, Facebook.
I think he's one of the most underrated politicians there.
He's a thinker.
Because
he's a thinker.
I heard him on Brass Stacks, and I thought especially when the moderator asked about his vision for
Barbados.
for St. George North.
St. George North, right.
And he stuck to the point.
He
But the others,
took too long. He took too long to get.
but no,
It reminds me of you.
But the other, But the others now were all over the place, attacking and going off on other topics that weren't fair. What is political shots, but it wasn't necessary.
Paul Gibson actually, when I listened to him, he actually stuck straight to the point.
Paul was good.
George North
Paul was
completely.
good. My party leader was good as well. I think.
Party leader still need to work about there.
I think
party leader still need to work about there.
Yeah, but what I would say though is that.
Well, Amber said that is why the current MP is all for PM is all for politics. Yeah.
What do you comments going?
I know.
No, I can say it. All right, that is why the current PM is all for politics of inclusion. Not every B will have the skills needed at some point in time. Even those we have our separate, our separate parties, it must be about Barbados, and I agree with that. We can endorse that comment.
Yeah, definitely, it has to be about Barbados.
But I think coming out of COVID, like even my mind goes back to COVID and the Prime Minister, and when she had the operation and she still came out, she spoke, and then they had the song "This Is Who We Are" and everything. It was a rallying call to bring Barbados together, and for me, I think that is commendable, because at the end of the day, we gotta go through COVID together. COVID is one of those things that there's no separation. It's not like if you have to be doing high risk activity necessary to get COVID-19.
No.
If you are in contact with the wrong person at the wrong place, sadly you can
if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing,
of course
you could be affected.
But so I think, man, that we have to look towards, like, even coming out of the by-election, whoever is voted in as the candidate for St. George North.
You got your horse in the race.
Yes, but we have to be realistic. One of the things that I think I am known for is being objective. I'm a DLP. I am a strong diehard D, but I'm also very objective.
Okay.
Reality driven.
Yeah, you have to be reality driven. I think that the Barbados Labour Party is putting up a strong fight for St. George North.
I could think though that the Democratic Labour Party, and I said it, and I could say it openly here, is putting up a really good fight. I did not expect the kind of fight the DLP is putting up, and obviously because let me say it in a way like this, I think the candidate chosen was right for the party.
Yeah.
Is the candidate right for the parish?
I don't know if it's right for the parish.
The argument, but I'll try to be.
But let me get away from that. Just saying that he's right for the party as it relates to that image, and he brings back some level of confidence in the party that you did not choose one of your old guards or whatever the case may be. And when I heard names like Saku and Colin Spencer being thrown up, I was like, what the hell? That would have been.
But I commend Colin Spencer for being politically mature enough to work. He is working actively with Floyd Reefer. Yeah,
but I think that's good in terms of giving way to somebody like Floyd.
Correct.
But again, he was right to bring back an image for the party.
Correct.
But I don't know if he can win.
Yeah, of course not. I mean,
of course not. You agree?
No, I mean, of course no. What I'm saying is that.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Simon?
What do you mean? Right.
What are you trying to say?
There is a fight for St. George North, and I am glad that the Democratic Labour Party has chosen a candidate that is he's appealing. He has a national appeal. He has been out there. He's a
national appeal. What is a national appeal? What are you talking about? Cricket?
Well, what I do know, he has a pavilion named after him. Do you have a pavilion named after you?
Yes, on my game.
But outside of that, no.
National, regional, and international.
But was he? Yeah, I understand that. But was he someone? All of us at some point lose relevance.
Of course.
And is he someone? Even when Floyd came back, I was in my mind, who is Floyd?
You. But
just me. I'm just saying.
I don't say St. George North.
Yeah, people of St. George North, but I'm just saying because he lost, he's out of touch with the in terms of he's not behind the scenes. So I want to use the word correct. He's behind the scenes. So
that's right.
So like Tony, somebody in front of us every day. So somebody will know. So what I'm saying, not that he's a bad choice or no, I'm not disputing. I'm just saying when he came forward, I was in my mind, who's Floyd? And then I kind of catch myself. Oh yeah, he was a cricketer.
But as in terms of being objective, and I have to echo the sentiments of my party leader, where she said, look, I can't attack Tony Moore for being in the union and wants to run as a candidate because she knows political history. Most of the political leaders and those
you see that point you're bringing?
Yes, please.
And I am a person who's very objective, right?
So maybe no, you objective. She just
there's
a year no.
I have
get
the
point.
I have to make that point. I'm making that point.
Go ahead, brother.
Specifically because you can go and put your post on Facebook with me now. Right?
I will not even give you the pleasure of having fame on my page.
Alright, but to be fair.
Say here, you got 42,000 views every month.
Let me be fair.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. Alright, so the Barbados Labour Party has been pushing the anti that you need to have a union leader in Parliament with the current administration, you know, to examine
represent
those issues and represent the workers and all that.
Mm.
Now, I think I have said openly on this show that I do not agree with that stance. Because if you got a union leader, then that means you got a Kimar sacrificing NGOs. You got a Sigma Ali from the Comedian Association.
If they got one.
Right?
Performing arts.
No. And then if you want to go even deeper, you got
You make the Senate real big. You make the Senate.
The Barbados Bankers Association. You got
everybody wants to seat in Parliament.
Right? Don Belton, she got to bring up the issues of finance.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So everybody in Barbados is a special interest group. The workers will be a big special interest group because that obviously they comprise the workforce or whatever it is, right?
Correct.
My thing is, and I say this, I am not interested in Tony Moore as the politician. I'm not as the union leader.
Union leader, that's right.
Because personally for me, the Barbados Workers Union has done a very poor job at representing the rights of workers in Barbados. So I can say that openly.
In the latter part,
right?
You can say that.
And UPW too.
You can say that in the latter part, the last decade.
It's not about last decade.
Let me get Crystal respond. Let me get Crystal respond on this.
Hold on, let me finish, right? I want to hear
like a sweetie here.
What I want to hear and what I'm most interested in is what are her plans
for St. George North.
For St. George.
We don't get the meeting out here.
Right? Let's watch online. Let's watch everything.
So what you asking? What she say over and over and over and over and over and over?
I'm interested in that. So when
hasn't she been saying that, Johnny?
Hold on. When you're bringing the arguments, I would advise the Barbados State Party, stop bringing the foolish argument about union leader and you need a unionist in Parliament, because for me,
then you just gotta start talking about homeboy.
Hold on, by saying that,
start talking about homeboy.
By bringing the argument about needing a union leader in Parliament, you are telling me that your Minister of Labour is not doing his job. You're telling me that your other 29 or 28 MPs are not in the interest of the workers. Right? Because the last time I remember, when we elect persons to serve in the House of Parliament, we elect them based on what they tell us are their plans for us and
at the parochial level, and then also
how they intend to debate on behalf of us, our constituency, and nationally.
Let me hear Crystal.
So let me jump in there.
Yeah, jump in, Crystal, because he ain't gonna stop.
I am very, very cognizant of the fact that at the end of the day, the people of St. George North are the ones who are going to make this decision.
Yeah,
that's right.
Regardless.
It's their decision
not
to
the
make.
social media gallery, not the press, not the people that comment on the stories in the press, not us, not even me that live in St. George North because I'm not registered in St. George North. The people in St. George North.
I can transfer. You want to transfer?
You got a transfer form?
No, you won't wait.
This way is so canvassing.
You got that off on here?
At the end of the day, they have to decide, does Tony Moore translate for them the work that Glenn Clark clearly has done for them?
Glenn did work.
And does the support that they have given to Glenn Clark legitimately belong to Tony Moore? Has Tony Moore proven herself to them
on the constituency level
as at the ground level as somebody who can walk in Glenn's shoes and carry on the work that he's done?
Carry on the mantle.
Vice versa.
Yeah. Newcomer.
Does Floyd Reefer, as a hometown boy, translate as somebody who can carry on the legacy in the constituency? Because whether you like the BLP or like the DLP, you gotta look at the results.
Yes.
Glenn Clark has won the last how many elections?
26 years.
26 years is not 26 minutes. There are people who There are people who will vote for the first time in St. George North who only know Glenn Clark.
Generations.
For all their life, the only politician for them
was
Glenn Clark.
Right. Probably still will be.
So again, it really comes down to what's happening on the ground. You gotta look at the demographics of the constituency as well. Are there a lot of young people in St. George North?
That's right.
Or are there a lot of mature people in St.
That's
George North? And what would convince them to support B or D? Those to me are the questions that need to be asked.
That's right.
All the rest is just peripheral.
So my first person that probably in the mass canvassing. What is the feedback on the ground in terms of like people saying about in terms of the elderly views versus the younger views?
Well, one of the areas I went into was we did Rowan's north, south, we did east as west. Rowan's part north, south, and east. And
spend a lot of time nobody passed them.
No, they are going in.
Are you sure?
What?
If you look at the boxes, they're going in their strong areas.
That is one
But
aspect.
based on the last election, they ain't
They are strong areas at all. So it's like a whole new
world.
A whole new world. But the reality of it, let's be real. Let me be objective once again. For Tony to have the endorsement of Glenn Clark means a lot.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
And
it means a lot because if he is trying to convince the electorate in that area, the constituents, say, look, I believe that this young lady has the gumption, she has the know-how and the passion to continue my work and further it. I think that is what the Barbados Liberal Party will be trying to do, to show that the parallels between Glenn Clark and the parallels between Tony Moore with regards to service and regards to helping people. However, what I think the opportune time and the opportune strategy for Floyd has been the fact that he's new. He's new, one, and he not only represents the constituents in George North, he represents a fresh air, or fresh breeze, a new direction, a fresh wave that is breathing into the Democratic Labour Party.
Will the DAP be able to maintain that fresh air? Because
but I am hoping that
at some point in time, if we want to mix that, that fresh air might blow over to stink here.
But we also have to be real and say that there may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20. No, you man. We can't be in the wilderness for the next 10, 15 years.
David Wardred of what? But I mean, Paul, this is the thing. We've asked for a debate for the third parties. I don't believe that the third parties are getting enough views as it relates to public.
I agree.
And I've asked Solution, who's agreed. I've asked you guys, PDP, and I've asked UPP to come here and do a small debate, which will highlight, 42,000 views a month off of this show ain't a little bit of number.
It helps.
And it helps to bring 42,000 views. Listen, that's more than even CBC just get in a 2 months or 3 months, more than a lot of even big people just get people that got whatever following, because we have interesting topic. I think giving them the floor.
Listen, as somebody that ran with a third party, that is spin.
What's that?
Social media?
Read what he said.
What?
Oh, you mean here?
Read exactly what he said.
What?
David Warren of the PDP is being warmly received. I said that when it was campaigning. I get 100 at one go.
I think you were one of the most popular guys.
I was one of the few that actually gave the 3 figures. Most of the others get lotto numbers.
But to be fair,
let me hear Crystal.
With all due respect, Paul Gibson, go and come again.
Yeah, that is what we gave them the platform.
But listen, let me get back to Floyd. Now you were asking me how I feel about Floyd and what's the vibe on the ground.
We get the feeling already.
No, you get the feeling. It's a good feeling. What I'm saying is that
because
the people welcome
is
change.
the capital of hospitality in the
yes.
in
But
the
I went on the wait, I'm sorry, not the process. I saw some things on the ground, and I wanted to hear what the ground said because of the show too, right?
Yeah.
I saw in people's face. So you gonna vote for me? Yes. Of course. No hesitancy. They were quick to tell you yes, but you don't know when you do this to somebody what they think. But it's always hospitable towards you. Yep. They invite you into everybody want to talk, and here's the problem that here's one of the most fundamental reasons why people will speak to you. A lot of people right now, I see a lot of people for a long time being locked up in their house, especially them older folks.
Exactly.
Secondly to that, right? People have so much issues going on. Now, in we feel of doing psychology and counseling and all that with the homeless, people with issues is talking. But really and truly, they're just trying to get this off their chest. And they say yes, man.
But it's going to be what I'm saying to you. What you want to say to you? It's not going to be a landslide everywhere. It's going to be a tight race.
I want to make a point.
I believe it's.
Sorry, Jeremy. Hold on. I want to get back to part. I repeat, and again, while you are promoting your candidate here, Paul, which is fine. Crystal said it right. If you come to Jehovah's Witnesses, will say that they are warmly received everywhere. But yes, they are. But yet, a lot of negativity still about Mandatory juvenile, but they're always warmly received. They
Because
come
they're
to my house.
consistent.
The Latter-day
They're
Saint of
consistent.
Jesus Christ, who
Yes.
also do work in that same go house to house, are
Yes,
warmly
warmly
received. They were my neighbors, and I warmly received them.
But-
But it doesn't equate to I would join them. But they always, you know what, you see them walking, but you walk up a water.
But-
But that is as far as it goes. So I'm just saying to you, Paul, Crystal being a candidate herself, being a three-figure candidate, just said it to you correctly. Warmly received doesn't mean that people
Yeah.
will vote for him.
All right, we understand that. We understand
I
that.
want to
Bring them to debate
Yeah,
here.
because at the end
No,
of the
nobody
day,
should.
when someone selects a representative for their constituency, they're looking for results.
Correct.
Now, while the PDP has the opposition leader, many
And Caswell.
people are betting,
Only 2 minutes.
that Floyd becomes
literally
opposition
and
leader.
figuratively, that the PDP will not be in parliament after the next election.
Of course not.
So with that logic, I can't
Well,
understand
I-
if warmly
I-
received,
true.
but the reality is third parties in Barbados don't get more than
Yeah, my lecturer in
vote.
political science, Peter Wickham.
So why would you want to
So
put
Yes.
somebody in parliament that at
So-
the end of the day,
But Joe, they already
in
say,
people's
well,
minds, what
Well,
can they
to-
really
to
do for
add-
you?
to
And
add
that's
to
what
it-
the third parties are wonderful advocacy groups to be a part of. And I, having been involved in one, I can say that without fear or favor. It was a wonderful experience from an advocacy perspective, but
But not
I was
politically.
never,
Political future, no.
I was never under any illusion
That you gonna win.
that we were going to win.
Are you?
Never.
Are you yourself?
Or me. It was clear we were outmanned, we were outmoneyed, we were outpowered,
Outplayed.
we
Outplayed.
were outplayed,
Outleader.
and
Lynette
our
didn't think so,
society,
Lynette didn't think so, though.
But of course,
our
but Lynette tried her best.
society,
you know.
our society, and my name doesn't spell it that if it's me that you mean. My name is
Praises,
Christal. Thank
Okay,
you. At the end of the day, right, you have to be realistic.
objective.
Barbados would have experienced a third party of no wants.
NDP boy.
And never again subsequent to
Brilliant, brilliant
that.
man, boy. Brilliant
Never
man.
again
Richie
subsequent to
Haynes.
that. And
Brilliant man.
3 of 4 at this table would know that if you ever want to see the Halls of Parliament as a representative,
BRD.
you have to choose either BRD, and that's the hard reality.
But I want to correct you on something. I oftentimes believe that the third party have a really good chance at becoming a party, and I would have seen that. I would have said that would have been possible by having probably 1 or 2 persons in the last election. However, the scope of candidates that they chose, in my opinion, was always the problem. If you choose people that people don't know, and if you choose people that, yeah, we could talk about Waldron is all known in the school in St. George, and I often
I don't know.
I don't live in St. George. I went to school at St. George, but oftentimes I would say that these candidates, these third party, I would say that Granville have probably made a name for himself as Granville,
That's Granville, yeah.
but not solutions. Not solutions, but he's made a name as Granville because he's up in your face and he won't stop sending you WhatsApp message every day. That is good to be known if you want to be relevant to some degree. But I do not see solutions of Barbados becoming a serious political force in
Well,
this country.
I want to make a point. Since that we are going on with third parties and understanding their impact on the political climate in
Which one you
Barbados.
enjoying?
It's no matter which party you can join. If you choose to,
I asked you which political party you can, third party you can join.
which political third party you can join. None. What I would say for the third parties, what would be good? We got a referendum coming up on making Barbados a republic. Now, if we expand the Senate, and we also have the
referendum?
yeah, the referendum on making Barbados a republic.
As far as I know, that's not what-
Same
that's
sex.
not
Oh,
what-
you want me to-
referendum.
Same sex
But
marriage.
Barbados is supposed to become a
only Trump, son, no.
republic.
That's a done deal.
Right? And then we also have the proceedings of the Torrent Commission that's completed as yet.
No,
Still
because
going
they
on.
had
Not
a
yet.
meeting up until last Sunday.
Right. So, and in reference to the constituency, well, not constituency council,
Constituency councils,
the
yes.
people's
Right.
assemblies.
Right, which is
But similar,
basically
right?
similar.
Yes, similar. So, if those are voted on, and if inside of a new republic in Barbados, the Senate, the upper house, can be voted on, then possibly, and I just being real as I could be, third parties could find themselves making a name for themselves in both a Senate and in people's assemblies.
How would they become a senator?
Unless you change our constitution
Which
to be
will,
like Guyana's,
yeah.
where you get
Proportional representation.
Proportional representation.
Sure.
They're not. It's not going to happen. What I would suggest to them, honestly,
Get Jermaine.
you either
come together as a
I am
collective.
more of an asset than
Even if they come together,
party here.
even if they come together as a
Don't fool
collective,
yourself.
Simon, I'm just being realistic
Fair
here.
enough.
It's just not
Based on your
gonna-
experience.
Based on my experience, I'm not even speaking hypothetically, I'm speaking from having done this.
Experience.
It is not going to happen for third parties in Barbados.
True.
What would be better for them, I think, would
Uh-huh.
be to invest their time, resources, and people, their ideas into becoming think tanks,
Correct.
lock on to a particular issue,
And become a movement.
and lobby for those issues.
But you
don't
might
think that
get
they can-
consultancy
You don't
with
think
these.
that they can that in lobbying for issues and becoming think tanks that they can more or less grab because persons
In the long run,
hold on,
probably.
persons
If they're not trying to
hold
change
on.
the system from the
Wait,
inside,
per-
they are
per-
pushing
Forget it.
trying to push a pin
No,
through a wall.
Hold on. Persons, when they
Person.
vote for a member of parliament, they primarily vote to get the MP and the prime minister. Alright? Now, if you come with the argument and say, listen, you already got your prime minister, you got your MP, you got
that's
your
it.
political party in power, but you see these people's assemblies, this is for us. So we don't
No.
want the major parties, the bill, because this is my problem. And I say this openly. I belong to one of the two major parties, right? But I don't think that only the two major parties have the right to determine
We all know what Jeremy belongs. He's
Right?
a platform speaker.
determine the future of all Barbadians, because when you look at the results at each elections, you got 270,000 people in Barbados, but between the two major parties don't get more than 120,000 votes. So you got 150,000 people in Barbados who
Apathetic.
either
But
have
Jeremy,
no interest in
remember some of them is children,
They not vote. Yes.
No,
Some are children.
no.
Uh-huh.
When you look at the
Voters
percentage
list.
of people who can vote,
Correct.
Voters list.
40% did not vote in the last election.
see-
We're not talking about people underage. We're talking about the voting
list.
population.
That don't vote.
40% did not vote, and that was the highest that we've ever
Yeah, because
experienced.
Dems had lost confidence in Dems. So
No,
what?
but-
They're still lost
that's
confidence.
that's one of the things.
I lost
And let's be
confidence in
real.
them.
Of course, let's be real.
No,
The
Simon,
Democrat-
no, don't go there, because if you look at the statistics, you will see that it has been trending down from about 65% in the last 4 or 5 elections down to 60. It is not a case about whether Dems were apathetic or Bs were apathetic.
People just
There
are no
are-
longer
there is
interested.
there is
Yeah,
a
there's a lot-
large
there is a
segment
loss
of our
of interest.
population, and I know a few people who are
Apathetic.
that are very, very apathetic to
Yeah.
the political system
Yeah.
because one, they do not distinguish between the philosophies of the two parties. Two, they don't believe it makes a difference to them in their personal
People
life.
said that. Mhm.
And certainly a lot of our society, in terms of education being free, healthcare being free, there are people who it really doesn't matter to them. At the end of the day,
Right.
once these systems are still in place, as far as they're concerned, you know, once there's no anarchy, they're fine. They could care less. What we would probably need to do is maybe poll those people and find out from them, why are you abstaining? What is your reason? And see
But do we
if
care?
we can then take. But we
And that's the
should.
question.
We should,
We
because
should,
that's the
because
question.
if that
that's a big
continues,
4%.
you're looking at maybe by the time our
50%.
kids are old enough to vote,
Oh my
half
God.
of the people not voting,
Not voting.
Correct.
and that could lead to an implosion of the system, and
Or the importation of votes from other
But no, but
people coming from
it
overseas
speaks
to
to the
vote.
need for, I would
I
say,
gotta do vote buying out for
the
that.
next generation of politicians. You know,
That'll
maybe
be
some,
relevant.
maybe
The us.
maybe the Simons of this world,
The us. We the next gen.
and the Jeremys of this world.
Jermaine will not be a politician.
I hope
We'll
never
need
become
to
a
make this a
politician. too.
priority in terms of whether our democracy needs to evolve in order to become more attractive to these people.
But I think
But
one
Crystal-
of the things we have to
Hold
do
on.
is to change how we vote.
But hold on.
Do we do mail-in voting here? Do we use the technology, that kind of stuff? There's some
Yeah.
people that will get off from work and say, see that, man, I get that.
I wanna-
I'm going to join that line.
I want to
voted today.
add something here. There's a big election going on in the world now.
States?
The American
US.
United States.
Yeah,
election,
US,
right?
Next
US
month.
election.
And I want to add on to the point that Crystal just made with reference to the 40% that does not vote. If you look at the American system, a lot of the people that Donald Trump was able to pull out in
That's
the last
right.
election
Boy.
are those same people that refuse to vote for either political party.
But they're gonna vote
And
for you again.
no, hold on. And those people that Donald Trump is again dependent on this time
Comments.
around are some of those same people who refuse to vote for either major party.
All
To
right.
the point that he has now have them as Trump supporters. They're not
Right.
Republican supporters. So you have to understand that if a third party person is able to whip up support amongst that 40%, you can become an obstacle to either
But,
Yeah,
major
you
but,
party.
but
split- you
oftentimes,
split the votes.
yeah, but oftentimes they
Split
tell
the
you be
votes.
careful of that because you're looking at culture. and you're looking at a different political system altogether that doesn't allow or
So
would
let's
take-
go with comments from Mahmoud, from Wayne and then Mahmoud. That is what Barbados needs, advocacy in Parliament. That's his argument for the third parties. They need advocacy. Mahmoud Tata, none are more popular than Sir Richie Haynes, and his NDP died when he died, and as popular as he was, he eventually failed. All new parties in Barbados will not last.
I can't say that, Mahmoud. You
Alright.
have.
But
hold on.
Sir Richie was very, very influential.
Go ahead.
Dorian Morris, listening. Sancho Walker, how effective is lobbying?
It can be very effective. Very
In Barbados, all depends. I mean, lobbying is a big thing in the States.
It depends on where you
Mahmoud
lobby
Tata Kimara, you should lead a new party and try out with some of these persons that you have on this program. Very young, dynamic, talented, willing lead political, I can see.
Kimar for Prime Minister.
This new upcoming politician is from Keelan Mayors, like Simon and those guys have to change the approach to representation and be open and upfront with his constituents. I'm one of this younger brigade that vote when I'm convinced, and I'm sure there are more like me out there, like me, are with the will to vote against the persons not fulfilling their mandate.
But you see, that's unfortunate because voting is a right.
Of course.
A right that we had to fight for.
Yeah, our forefathers,
Women had to fight for the right to vote.
Black people
You
had to
telling
fight
me
for
that
the
you
vote.
have to be convinced? No, nobody should have to convince you. You should be able to discern. In this country where we have free education and literacy up to 90-something%.
True.
To make a discerning choice as to who you want to lead your country.
But
Nobody
it's-
should have
but
to
Crystal,
convince
Hold on.
Well, to say that you need to also recognize that, in Barbados, only the Barbados Labour Party and the Democratic Labour Party has been in power, right? Ever. And I'll be honest, between both political parties, there have been members of parliament whom have more or less disappointed every person that they came into contact with.
True.
Not so every.
No.
But that happens in everyone's life.
That's why I said between both political parties. So you have to give a person's like, I think Keelan, the right when he says, look, that he isn't sure, because the reality is that you vote for the BLP in this election. You say, listen, they promised me they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, they're gonna do that. They get into power, and then they recycle a lot of DLP policies under new names, right? You vote for the DLP then, and they get into power and recycle their old policies. They get recycled by BLP under new DLP.
But what does that tell you?
That's why I
You
say to
lose.
people, if you have issues with the system, you have to try to change
Get
it from
in
the
and change
inside. Get out there and be a part of somebody's campaign or run.
But my
That
challenge
is what
this.
motivated me
True.
to get out there and get
this
involved,
is my-
because I was concerned about what I was seeing happening and I wanted to make a difference, but I didn't want to do it passively. So I did it actively.
Of course.
But and that is the problem that we have in
let
society
me
today.
temper the comments that I made, because I don't want the young man to feel that, people shouldn't earn your vote. Because people should earn your vote.
Of course.
But I think at the end of the day, Barbadians, anybody who's living in a democratic
said
society
he vote no
should
doubt, so that's fine.
see your vote as your
voice.
right and your
voice,
voice.
yeah.
Do not allow a government to be imposed on you.
True.
Actively take
Yeah.
a part in
Steps,
the
yeah.
decision making.
I
Get
agree.
out there and participate in the meetings, send emails, contact
Comments
the
and
office,
so on. Don't
visit the
troll,
office,
send proper comments,
challenge
right?
them, ask questions.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by
to fall to
advocacy and lobbying.
to fall for that though, and I will go back to throwing licks at Paul and the rest, Lynette and all of those. When we ask them to come on to this show to do a debate or a show, oftentimes politicians speak in a comfort zone. A lot of them can't talk, And when they say they can't talk, they can't come and talk to me and you.
Of course not.
Because when we go lick them or ask them, they can't justify or they can't defend. And this is why people like Keelan made that statement. And they can
True.
understand the statement in the context that these politicians don't make themselves available for people like we.
No.
A show that reaches 42,000 claiming by Facebook, organically not paying for any ads, not
right.
bought by any
Buying or
company,
not buying, yeah.
we talk freely, reaching people, then you should see this as an avenue to reach those people that are here talk
Kimar,
that the Mahmoud and us.
These
I don't say the Barbados is
How
well.
much of these 42,000 people could vote in St. George North?
No, I'm not
Listen,
talking about St. John,
if
not
I was
perspective,
there,
I'm talking
Passionately.
generally.
If I was them, I would tell you no too.
No.
I would be too busy in my constituency dealing with the needs of the people in Rose
Yeah, that's
Park
what Floyd
and the
doing.
people
That's what Floyd doing,
in
sure.
Rose Cottage and the
Floyd
people
doing a spot.
Hello,
Blueberry.
at the point
I have
of
a
time,
spot.
right
that,
here,
that time, listen, we got a month left in this election.
You want me to say that real bad now?
And you know, as your girl, and you know, you's my boy. But if I was a candidate,
I won't be here.
the people in St. George.
Let me tell you something, right? No.
I have to go.
Yeah.
So I want to say two things. If you are from St. George North, please drop a heart or a 100 in the chat.
Or fire.
Or in the comments, or fire, or something.
Something.
If you are from St. George North and you're listening,
I'm doing a poll.
Hold on, I'm doing a poll. The other point I want to make before I leave is that I think that for the
she's going to be here regularly.
For the public of Barbados, this election is very
critical.
It's going to be keenly watched.
Of course it is.
But I think that it's important also that we look at the fact that these are new candidates and how they are going to be mentored and the leadership that they will have that they can rely on to build their careers as they embark on this noble profession of politics.
But just before we continue, we want to thank Crystal because Crystal has to go.
Yes, I have
another show to be on.
I have another show. My other show is called Homegrown Roundtable.
Where is it?
We do not talk about these controversial things. We
What y'all
discuss
talk about?
culture. Our guests tonight are the
please don't go.
beautiful, lovely, adorable Donlisa Calendar Smith.
Yeah, Donlisa Allen.
And
She used
the
to run
phenomenal
the K Shepherd
living legend
program.
Alison Seeley
Here,
Smith.
Talk
Yeah,
So,
so love on at 8 o'clock. She's on.
Yes, and we are going to
Slug
be
it down.
live on Randy Eastman's Facebook.
Randy Eastman, yeah.
We are streamed live on Trident 10 TV and on 94.7 FM.
Really, there's a big show though. You never hear of this.
Yes.
You had a comedic guest there a while back.
Oh yes, you were on our show. You and
So you-
Ramon Court.
Yes, Ramon Court was
you
one
said
of our
on-
featured
on-
guests.
On whose Facebook will find it?
Randy.
You can
Eastman.
WhatsApp she.
Or you can WhatsApp.
Yeah, but thank you, Crystal. She's going to be a regular on the show with us.
You're right.
And so we're going to have her more
That's
regularly.
great.
We want to thank you for being here. We want to thank you for your comment and everything. I'll show the links after you leave. Yeah. One of the things I want to touch on with Crystal when Crystal was touching on the matter, right? Jermaine,
Bless
switch out your chair and
everybody.
take this
Yeah,
one.
man, bless up.
Switch out your chair and take this one. Push out your chair offset. Now, here's what I had a comment on what Crystal was saying, right?
Be safe,
When you represent, right? One of the things they may say that we miss is that when you finally represent, you can represent St. George, so you can go to St. George North, St. Philip, whatever, to be a representative, Christchurch, wherever. But when you get in Parliament, oftentimes you don't only represent the constituency, you represent the country as a parliamentarian. Now, if you even get a ministerial position, it means that you represent a larger constituency away from only your constituency, which is the country.
That's right.
So here's what I'm saying. That is why it is important to come and talk to the country.
Agree.
And not just to come and talk to a constituency only, because you have to show your leader that you're competent enough to talk to a larger audience to say, well, listen, we all know that if, for example, Tony had to become an MP, we can see some people can foresee she being a minister of labor. So some people can foresee she being the minister of something.
Yeah.
But
Floyd as well.
Floyd as well. Yeah.
Floyd as well.
Floyd as well. When your party ever get back in power,
It's not an if, it's a when.
When.
But right now we are rebuilding. This is a rebuilding stage right now. And I think the Democratic Labour Party, by choosing Floyd Reefer, is signaling to Barbados that, you know what, we've listened to you. We're going to bring fresh faces, people that you can relate to, that can speak to the issues and represent you on the ground.
When they're saying the current crop of MPs don't appear to shine or show themselves as future MP.
Wow.
And that's deep. And you know, and that is my problem. We all like a comfort zone. When you have reached like this, Brass Tacks, Crystal Show, or any other, we should never negate to come to the people to talk.
I agree.
We should never neglect a youthful group like this, where rather Simon is D and Jermaine is B and Kimar is Kimar Safri. We should never disrespect a forum like this.
I agree.
Because
I get your
we
point. Yeah,
reach
you have to
people.
hammer home that point today.
We reach people, and everywhere reaching people, I can understand. But we reach 42,000 people every month. That is a lot of people for Facebook. Organic reach, no paid sponsorship, no paid ad. But we cannot disrespect forum like these here.
True.
When we want our politicians to come and sit informally and have discussions.
That's right.
You understand? Have meaningful discussion with you, the viewers. because all of us are not Brass Tacks listeners. All of us may not be on Crystal Show. All of us may not be on this. But again, you as a politician have to be able to put yourself across every spectrum.
I agree.
To show the country. Forget just a one-sided one. Thank you, my man. We love for having you here as well. This cannot be a one-sided thing that, because Simon is here and going there. The fact that he is here, you should be here. True. The fact that German is here, you should be here, because you know what? It speaks to an all-inclusiveness when it comes to reaching it. Thank you, guys. You understand? It speaks to that all-inclusiveness, because we never know who's watching. We never know. So when we invite you, it's not to tarnish you.
I think we know. We got Sancho that logs in almost every Wednesday. That's from
Matt moves longer than every Tuesday.
Sandoms has been watching from the beginning.
Tuesday, sir.
Correct. And you could go on the show and see 7,000, 10,000. How can you ignore numbers like those?
True.
Because even the same radio station said, we have 80,000 listeners.
That's right.
on Brass Tacks. So this is why we thank you, Victor. So this is why we cannot ignore this. We can ignore the show, regardless if you like me or not. The point is, the people on the show can ask the questions. The people on the show needs to hear what politicians have to say, and that is why I'm often talking you keeping this body close to your chest. Who is he? When he becomes a politician, he becomes the people. He belongs to the public. He belongs to not St. George alone or not Christchurch alone. And that is even for us as future politicians, when we get in there, that we cannot look to serve just here.
And you know what? I must admire a lot. So far, we've never really had a BLP.
We've never had a BLP member, and that
or even a senator, really.
Why? Because you are in. And you don't think that you could come to the people because you're in? No. We want to hear about the same fishing and maritime. We want to hear about the same agriculture.
That's
right. Want to, and the fact that you have an open forum where you can come and sit for an hour or two to discuss. You understand? We need to, thanks, Mahmoud.
But the argument might be that you can discuss it on CBC.
Yeah, but I'm not discussing it on CBC at any level. What I'm saying is,
but with Facebook, you can access it.
You think Donald Trump could say, or as much as Donald Trump is a Fox believer, he has to be on CNN. He was on CNN the other day. The first debate was on CNN.
You know, Donald Trump does actually follow regular Americans on Twitter. I mean, it's the same, but he's going to talk about. Because Trump believes the media, regardless of CNN, Fox, whoever,
it's fake news.
Ain't about fake news. No, this is the analogy.
He controls it.
All news is good news.
Right.
No medium is not a good medium.
Yeah.
So anytime that you get your message out there,
that's a good question. That's a good question.
Wayne is asking if they have to get permission.
Probably.
I mean, regardless, get the permission.
But let's be fair. You know what's we gotta be objective. Probably what you might have to do is probably send a formal letter a week or two in advance. I know that ministers and members of parliament are busy, so I will not discount the fact that people for right now, my party leader and other persons.
Well, your party leader has been here, so
she's been here.
Right, but what I'm saying.
But sorry, just to get back, Amber, you said this is not a fair comment, Kimar. I just want you to explain what's not a fair comment, Amber, just so I can get the
I think with regards to saying that no one from the Barbados Labour Party has been.
I mean, Kevin was.
Yeah, Kevin was good though. Kevin was very good.
And that was a very good show.
But he's a young socialist president.
Here's what I'm saying. I heard Kerry on Brass Tacks Sunday.
Yeah, Kerry Simmons. Yeah,
so give me the basis of Minister Simmons. Sorry, give me the basis. Now, as I said, I'm not. And oftentimes people always think that because you say something that you are against or for. Yeah. I'm not against or for. What I'm saying is the evidence in itself supports.
Right. Well, Amber is correct. No minister is obligated to come to your show. They have a right to decline.
No. So that is where we have to differ, Amber. It is not a matter of obligated to. When Mayor Motley made the statements of the 3 debate, some people took it out of context that she was obligating people to debate. It was not a sense that she was obligating.
True.
Because she cannot obligate anybody to debate.
But she said that that's the option.
But that's the option given and the platform given.
Fair enough.
And we are saying the same thing. So it's no different than what Mayor Motley said than to what I said the Prime Minister said. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we have a platform here.
Yeah.
You understand? Give the audience. It's not about me.
I know.
And it's not about Simon, and it's not just, each of us have our own platform, and we're very well known in our platforms and our work and our field. What I'm saying is, at the same time, give us the opportunity, give our audience, our 42,000 audience, the opportunity to hear you as well. We often think is about.
I think what the ministers I know. I think that if possible, we can get here as John King, Minister John King.
Right, and we don't mind.
We can try to work on
make representation for your party, make representation for your area. what it be.
Yeah, let people know what you're doing.
Let people know what you're doing.
What
And
you're doing.
you cannot say, okay, let me go on Jermaine Beckford's show and think that's the only medium. That's only some. You cannot say, let me go on Brasta and think that's only some. Each of us, I'm a social media man.
But no.
So,
you said that. No, I still understand in a sense where Amber is coming from. But I gotta commend Griffith St. John. He was having a series. Don't forget.
Yeah, he had a series on.
There you go.
Yeah.
But so what Charles was right? Minister Charles Griffith.
Yeah, Minister
right?
Charles.
Right. What he was doing on the same social media platform, he was allowing his constituents, I think through Zoom meeting and so on, to come and talk to him and so on. So that was interactive too. So probably a lot more ministers can follow that road.
Yeah.
But it would be good to have them.
It will get there. I'm
on
just
this
saying.
program
And then
as
you
well.
know what, Doc people there, because you have because I sent an invitation. Let's say it's an invitation to Simon, you're a DLP. And I said, well, I want you to come on the show with Jermaine, a BLP. And then I asked Jermaine to come on show as a BLP, maybe separate times.
Right.
Simon agrees, yes. Okay. Next week now I ask Kimar, a DLP, and the Manny, a BLP. But Kimar said yes, the Manny says no. What signals does that make? People start to brand you as a BTV and a DTV, which is utter ignorance and foolishness to the highest degree. Because the same people are oftentimes ignorant in thinking. Because often talk shows sent to everybody because you don't want nobody to feel you're one-sided and this and that.
True.
And when you say that, people want to brand your show and brand you because you're affiliated, and that is the ignorance.
Another comment.
Other ministers have never. And I mentioned that like what Charles Griffith is doing. Minister Charles Griffith
Amber,
is doing.
I think you're a highly intelligent young lady. We are not disputing their ways or method of communication. I think the
MPs,
BLP
yes,
has one of the best method of communication there is. They're actively talking, and so what I'm saying is, I just put the show part of it to show that we too could do with some of that. The audience, could do with some of that engagement. Just like how you here engaging me and I'm engaging you, we could all do. So I'm just saying, we could think. Mahmoud, remember you asked about coming on the show. Well, please know we're going to bring you on shortly. But I'm just saying the engagement will be like and that is because you want, as a person in public. I'm a public figure, and I can only say to Barbados today, come.
You're gonna invite nation.
I gotta invite the nation. I can't forget, even though you can't even forget Luke. You can't forget Ian Bourne at Beijing reported. You can't.
Yeah,
because so that you give thing. Right? I'm not upset about anything. I'm just being passionate about it. Right? So I'm just saying to you, it's all whether they come or not, but don't come branding the show then.
Yeah,
if this body accept it or this body accept it. I would love to get I'm a black man from here. You understand? I would love to get I'm a black man from here, but I'm just saying, don't come and say to me when you see me just get these, because that's the audience we get.
True.
And we will take who we get so we can bring like to whatever topic of the day. But Amber, don't let me see you saying Safrigo at DLP TV.
Yeah, it's not
and
DLP
don't let me hear
it's not
Simon saying there's a BLP TV. No, because we all belong to different parties, or some of us don't. At the end of the day, we are all together bringing a show to people that they enjoy and stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about.
I think you've exhausted that topic.
I needed to.
Yeah, you vented. You were able to articulate.
It's like Amber said, not me. So again, another BLP declined Amber.
Good dear.
But because that's your rights.
Yeah, but you can understand why too.
Yeah. So again, we got an open discussion, and that's why we hear all over the place and stuff like that. There Tuesday might be bad. We could Geraldine, we could put shows for people. We did last week, Wednesday we did for Akani.
Yeah.
So we don't mind shifting around.
Yeah, remember that Parliament is on
Tuesdays.
We don't mind. Most, if not all ministers,
might be bad. Right, might be bad. No
that's
problem.
right, Geraldine. It's right.
Right. But we shift around for Akani last week. He was actually in Parliament for the appointment. Civil service debate. So that's fine. We don't mind. But yeah, so we talking about a number of topics because today is our open discussion. If you have a topic that you want to hit on, let me know. Crystal also say if you're from St. George North, then you can send some fire likes or whatever. Well, look at the structure of the show and make it something that people want to come on. I think people want to come on and people have been watching, so I think that the show speaks for itself. 42,000 views every month, but it's not a little bit of numbers. And so it's a very lot of views.
A lot of views.
Yeah, but and the comments is not nothing to look past, right? But the structure of the show is what it is, and we seen it working. And we don't mind who declared.
Having a female element like Crystal being one of the panelists It's good.
Yeah, and
Get her in between.
Crystal will be here regularly with us, and she'll be having more discussion with us because she's a highly intelligent young lady, a young lady of substance, and she was actually one of the young ladies doing politics that a lot of people favored
and listened to because she articulated herself well. She was thinking, so that's fine. But Amber, we thank you for your comments.
So that's good. So again, if you have any topics that you want to hit on before we close, we'll be happy to hit on topics. I
think one of the things we spoke about the election already. We spoke about the by-election, that is. We also mentioned a bit about Trump. Well, we don't really go that heavy into Trump. But,
what about Trump? What are you thinking about that American election?
The American election is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's too easy. It's too early to call it, but.
Yeah, we got one from St. George.
Yeah. All right, Valencia.
Trump will win the election.
I can't believe how you sit down blatantly call
he might have a good chance of winning.
Listen, I can be real.
I saw Biden debate. Biden looks quite shaky, man.
Biden is a good candidate for the Democrats, right? But Trump says America first. If it's one thing that I know Americans like, America first.
Well, I can tell you.
Trump, believe it or not, Trump has been through so much for the last 5 years. And it's a 5 year because from the day, no, I like Trump. If I was in America, I would vote for Trump.
Why would you vote for Trump?
Why would I vote for Trump? Because Trump is the only real politician there is on that stage in America.
Sanchez Walker is telling you, please don't say that. I agree, Sanchez.
I will say.
You got your numbers dropping.
Right?
the numbers are.
I will say.
No.
I would not agree with that.
I am a Trump
I can say that I was a big Trump supporter, but remember this though. I was a big Trump supporter because he was not a politician coming into politics.
He was a maverick.
He was a maverick, right? So I could agree that. The only thing though, Jeremy, I want to challenge you on is that the American the American votes does not count. Remember that.
Yeah.
The electoral college is push things. So when you are saying that Americans voting, we are oftentimes people are trying to appease. I think they were trying to get something turned around in terms of popular votes. I don't think it ever
happened. That's
correct. Hillary Clinton got 2 million more popular votes.
I think only 1 million. But I just saying to you that.
So you believe what Trump said? Then?
I just saying to you that the electorates in terms of the electoral college is a makeup of the American elect. And that's sad.
Sanchez saying Trump is a dictator and he makes it very hard for the middle class.
Yeah.
And immigrants.
Trump is not a dictator.
Too much sucking up to the president.
Trump is actually trying to make America great.
Okay, that's good, Princess Stella. Too much sucking up to this present administration going on here on this show. Not worth my time after tonight. You people need to be real. But Stella, tell us how we I am a Democratic Labour Party supporter, but I'm very objective.
I'm very objective. I don't suck up to neither political party
because
I make my own path and my own destiny.
I oftentimes think that
you can make your
mark. But you can meet me for here till cows come home. But here this year, I oftentimes think that because people hear people's views, they often take people's views into serious and take people's views themselves and turn around who you are. It's like, so I don't understand. You may see me walking the Wesleyan Church, don't mean it's the Wesleyan.
That's right.
So again, oftentimes stop doing that, please. It's quite annoying and frustrating. This show talks about a number of topics and a number of things. I don't know why people
It's all right.
this. You were
just there sitting down speaking about the Barbados Party has not sent anybody to the show.
Yeah,
and in my opinion, that was not sucking up to TBLP. You were speaking the truth.
Let me forgive you for coming late, Princess Stella. But go ahead. You understand? But yeah, back on topic.
But yeah, man. So I think that a lot of exciting things are happening.
Walker said something here.
I think it is how they perceive the discussion.
Again,
but everybody, perception is reality for some people.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk about is Barbados post-COVID too, COVID-19. Even as we wrap up, Barbados coming out of COVID-19, and the fact that
we coming out.
Yeah, we got come out. I mean, our economy we need.
Coming out.
Well, when I say coming out, we want. But you see, on our end, what we have to do, you see the monitoring, and at best, Dos Santos clinic, but the whole testing and stuff that's been going on down there is very important. Because we're going to see an influx. I am predicting that 2021, we're going to see mass arrivals. We talk about 2021 being a light year. I don't think so. As the restrictions begin to ease up, people have been home and bound to their country or wherever they are for the past 6 months. They are eager to get out from America, to get out from Europe and come to the Caribbean.
The challenge that I have, and while Barbados could While Barbados could be coming out because most of our cases are imported. I think the challenge is that I'm seeing is that prediction based on the US itself will show that 20,000 people would die this month. Based on the prediction, and I think that it goes to show
5,000 by February.
Correct. So it shows that I don't think that the US is addressing, just like the UK is addressing it seriously, because a lot of things are still open in those countries.
Yeah.
And what we cannot afford to close is some of them can afford to close in certain instances, right? But cases are still spiking around the world. Well, Barbados, that we may be controlling to some degree.
Right.
I think that because of the, let's say, careless or reckless happenings around the world, it may impact us, and then it may take us longer. Well, we may benefit from, let's say, if the welcome stamp becomes more widespread. We may benefit from a lot more people coming into work. But at the same time, I
still think tourist numbers will go later next year.
A hotel said today that I think they are some
I want to spin the discussion a little bit because Shauna Rollins just made a point here, and there was something I was thinking. Shauna said so much is going on in our country and the Caribbean. St. Lucia has no funds to help their people.
True.
No, I read that article today. He said that. And I felt really bad for that article, right? No, here it is. In Barbados, we got another crisis coming. If you listen to what the economists from the World Bank said,
don't let me afraid.
Right?
No, afraid to be
No, you have to be real. You have to be real. The economists from the World Bank said, and I quote, Barbados should not look forward to any debt restructuring. By those
but the minister said today. No, let me correct that. Hold on. The minister said in Parliament today, in Parliament, Minister of Finance in Parliament said today that Barbados is not looking to restructure any debt. So let me
I was going to make that point.
Okay.
I was going to make that point. But the other point you also have to make is that when you just sat down and you talk about the possibility. Simon was saying that next year would be a boom arrival year. Ukimar said that when you look at what's going on in our major source markets, which would be the Europe and the US, that may not be possible.
Right.
The challenge that I have, and I'm very straight with this.
Go ahead.
The debt of the government of Barbados has substantially increased.
Yeah.
Right? Believe it or not, I was having this conversation this morning with a good friend. And when you look at the fact that we now have a situation where we have a high debt, we have low receivables, right? Low prospects of any form of tourism returning over the next 2 to 3 years in a substantial fashion.
Yeah, true.
Barbados is known to be a place where we have we have to spend more than we actually produce. Right? We don't really have a manufacturing sector. We're not trying to jumpstart our agricultural sector properly. All right? Hold on. The challenge that we are going to face in this country is that within the next, Government smartly said, that we have enough foreign exchange to take us through the next 9 months or so. And that's good. But what happens after 9 months? Because if the economy of Barbados does not restart, if we do not get the tourist arrivals, if we can't export anything, we just appointed a whole set of civil servants. There's a strong possibility that we may have to look at things like cutting civil servants. Hotels can only operate on this 80% thing for so long because then after a year and you realize that you're not getting arrivals, the government cannot support your hotel.
We cannot.
Continually. And then there's the other issue. Hotels are latching onto this program because that they don't want to pay the workers their severance.
And that's a big issue.
And what happens when the chickens come home to roost and you realize that, you know what, you can't really depend on the government no more and you have to pay workers the severance. So then you're going to have a lot of people who are going to fall for bankruptcy.
They're going to liquidate.
Right? So, I mean, these are issues that we really have to discuss.
I agree.
And look at what is truly going on within the Barbados economy. Because the Barbados economy is on a premises of disaster if we don't be careful.
True.
But I mean,
you have a good point. I would say that's probably one of the most passionate and articulate.
And someone say making sense, so that's the best comment he had on the show too. But Jermaine,
but Jermaine is
he's a good friend of Jermaine. But here's the thing.
Jermaine is spot on.
I don't disagree with it. But I think that oftentimes we have to realize that the government is not careless to allow, or rather. I've seen the government put
many will want your services.
Well, the challenge.
Let me tell you how you're going to
that's the challenge, man. Yes, they will want my services.
That's the truth.
And I hope that, as some people always say, they work to get out of work, they work to get out of a job. I work in the staying. But Jermaine is making point as it relates to that. But I think that we would the government, then you have to look at why the government then is not necessarily closing the borders and is allowing for welcome stamp. And I think that this is where the government will succeed. Being more inclusive of organizations. I would include me, the third sector, a little bit more.
Yeah.
People with ideas, think tanks, as we were talking about earlier, to be in these rooms and to generate ideas because as people are saying, yes, you will require my services more, and it will hurt me because at the end of the day, we don't have the finances to take on so much and so much more. Right. So I think that one thing we have to look at is early intervention rather than prevention.
True.
So we need to get into the room with organizations such as mine. We need to get into the room with other organizations and other groups and say, how can we start prepping on the ground? I think oftentimes the focus may be a lot on the economy rather than the society. And we need to start...
Really?
Because we always talk about how we boosting this and we boosting that, but people are suffering.
Yeah,
and I'm not putting it on any one person or any one party. But where do we then where do we then engage in discussion? And I'm talking about engaging in a discussion that when I get up from the table, that my constituents which I serve, I can take something back to them and say, yes, the government is going to do, yes, this is going to happen, or what.
I don't mean to cut you,
not just foolish talk.
True. One of the things we have to look at then, because we recognize that a lot of the economic leakage happens through our foreign taste in terms of our food import bill, and
have to buy local.
So what's going to happen then? If we are serious about saving the Barbadian economy, there are a couple of things we got to do. We got to buy local and we got to go green. Buying local and going green is essential to us in terms of reducing our dependence on fossil fuels.
But how long have we been trying to? It's like you ever had a lawnmower?
It isn't about how long they have to do it.
Necessities above invention.
You ever start a lawnmower?
The cord pull it is hard.
How much you got to pull a lawnmower?
At least 4 or 5 cranks.
And some, because depending on how old it is, and if you just turn on the gas on it too or choke it, it really don't start. So here's my thing. We have been having these conversations about jump-starting the agriculture sector for years. One, I would say this here, and you probably hear me repeating it.
Yeah, good weather though.
We cannot just be talking about jump-starting no agriculture sector in Barbados when we have not, and I see the markets and I see, which is good. What I'm just saying is, we have not put infrastructure in place for the markets, or infrastructure in terms of how people buy produce, right? So here's what.
Yeah.
We might end up opening 40 stalls.
They got some good ideas coming here.
Yeah, good. Thanks. And I hope those high powers could see it.
Wow.
So important.
I like that. Very good point. Government should support farmers the same way they support hotels.
This is where I'm going with it. If, for example, you open 50 stalls in Barbados, but there's no structure in terms of helping those people bring customers.
Yeah.
Then it makes no sense.
You see the new market that's being built up?
Right. So all of
beautiful market.
Beautiful, obviously, beautiful for time, but beautiful in sight, and then you can't pay the rent. Or beautiful in sight, and then you struggle to sell
customer traffic.
So here's what I'm saying. We need to put structures in place. Now we can never talk about buying local in Barbados when the supermarket shelf pop off with foreign goods. When I go into a supermarket and I see tomatoes wrap up in that pack and clear up over it, I don't check to see if it's buy local or buy foreign. They pick up a pack and go along. One time we used to have I think 100% Bayesian stamps.
Buy local.
We don't see that much anymore. I don't know where that market has gone.
I was actually having a conversation with a young farmer in Barbados last week Saturday when it was at a supermarket. He was telling me he supplies lettuce to 3 or 4 big popular supermarkets in Barbados, right? I will not call their names.
Of the popular supermarkets, not popular.
Right, different supermarkets, chains, right? And he said, and he used specifically lettuce. He said because there was an issue in getting lettuce imported in Barbados because of COVID, right? And the suppliers of the...
But there always been a shortage of lettuce in Barbados.
But the suppliers of the supermarkets overseas told them that there's going to be some issues in the future. He said he started supplying the lettuce to these supermarkets, right? And they told him, increase your production. increase your production. And he took suit and he increased his production. He said he was told by 2 of the purchasing managers of the major chains that yes, they order from outside, but if he can maintain
the levels
of lettuce that he's sending into those supermarkets, they said it will come to the point next year that they will not even be ordering lettuce outside of Barbados.
So that
they will give him business.
But yeah, that is a good. I is a registered farmer, right? A lot of people may not know that, but I'm a registered farmer. And what else I find and dandy, right? I used to live on a property when I first came to Barbados with my stepfather. And he used to. I remember in those days you could have take your product directly to supermarket and sell. That's not so now. One of the things that oftentimes people tell you, yes, increase. I remember I was approached by a major company and said, look, I want you to plant this particular produce for me and I will buy from you to do this new product. And you go on, you invest and it didn't happen. Jeez. And not only that, I would like the farmers to don't take nobody word for it. Sign contracts, because here's what,
I agree.
When the market open back up for the importation of lettuce and you selling me a head at $1 and they can get a head at 50 cents, you really think I want to see you on a party? So here's what, protect your business by making sure you sign contracts with these people and say, look, if you telling me to maintain 500 heads, make sure that when months come I get 500 heads, because here's what, that statement could only be made because you know what, you forced now to buy from me because you can't get internationally. Right. Sure. So we have to protect the farmers by making sure that in the government. When the government, there should be a table now. In the government, in the Ministry of Agriculture should be a table now that farmers could go to for support service in that area to structure deals with supermarket. Because oftentimes too, some farmers, how they present their produce is not in the way that you will work at Barbados. You know, at one time a Chinese man tell me straight, their technique for the Caribbean when they started to cook for we was to realize we like coloring in we food. So they put out coloring. But not necessarily that's how Chinese is cooked. No. So to say that means that oftentimes presentation is key.
Yes.
So when we say to farmers, I am buying the potatoes that you go take off dirt, and when you get down to the dirt, when you get off the dirt, now you realize the potato underneath is this. You have to be able to say, this is what you need. How do you protect? And farmers need to say, this is what I spray my farm with. This is how I control the pests in my farm. And give greater details so that when you produce those details now to supply buyers, they can say they can appreciate what you're doing. So these desks need to be in government to protect these farmers.
Like add to what you were saying. It then calls for departments like the BIDC, Funds Access,
BMC, all of them
to come together.
Help farmers.
And you know, you're not asking them to provide loans. You provide the technical assistance,
and that is what they need.
Engage on behalf of the farmers, because as you are quite saying, Kimar, if the farmers can get contracts, there's nobody in the world that wants to know they got a guaranteed income and getting up and getting work and do what they gotta do. Because if I know at any month, that I can call a supermarket and that popular discounts or super center say to me, Jermaine, if you grow cucumbers, I want £1,000.
And you guaranteed every month.
But I can grow the cucumbers.
I know small farmers, right? That people right now that doing chickens are saying to people, look, the same thing that Jermaine was saying.
Yeah.
That as supermarkets and restaurants, I think begging me for my late farm to produce more. But that is because you are forced to buy from these people, not because you want to buy from these people in some sense, in some cases. So we should not be to buy, and then when COVID done, I back to zero.
Back to normal.
No, we have to make sure that in these things you protect the farmers. I am a farmer, as I said, I'm a registered farmer. Well, people may not know a lot of my businesses because they may only associate me with the homeless. I have a lot of small businesses that I engage in, and farming is one. I have a farm. So
I want to get up on this farm.
Yeah, I want to get business with you. Right? But I just say, you understand me? At the end of the day, when they plant on my thing, I got a lot of peach trees and a lot of cassava and a lot of things. I don't want it rotting. Because when you do cassava, when you pull cassava from the ground, you can't go linger with the cassava. You go get a cassava cell and move quick. And you don't see a lot of cassava in the supermarket. Only one or two discard cassava. You right now, I go in supermarkets, and I can tell you, I go in supermarkets, and sometimes I'm ashamed to go in supermarket, especially when you go in frozen section area. Because when you go in those areas, right now you see no tomato.
Yeah.
Right now, you're seeing a local lettuce. All you're seeing is iceberg.
Iceberg, yeah.
You understand?
That's
right now,
right.
you're seeing the beets. Right now, you're seeing the beans.
They got the turmeric in supermarkets.
You understand? They got the raw ginger.
They got the ginger.
So what I'm saying to you,
You ain't got the yams.
You ain't got the yam. You ain't got
It's
the
true.
sweet potato galore. You already
Blood
see.
sugar.
You already
They hardly
see.
see plantains.
You already see plantain. You already seen. You already seen English potatoes.
True.
So what I'm saying, right? Yeah, you spell my name. You spell my name right, Lovey. What I'm saying is that we need to get serious about how we support. Oftentimes, and I can tell you over 10 years or 11 years come the 19th of October being in a public forum where I sit and engage ministers on both sides of the fence. Both from the D's and both from the D's and no to the B's.
Steve Blackett and all.
And all. Oftentimes, you are invited to things and there are discussions, not movements. Because I don't feel happy when I meet with a minister. I don't know.
You want to come secretary.
But I want to come out knowing that when I come to, yes, we can have one discussion, two discussion, or three discussion. But I believe by that time that you have the three discussions, that you need to have some sort of definite to give over. You understand? What part we shot Henry Blaze? If you just get all of these things, please tell me so I can go and shop.
Correct.
And I always say I love to support the struggle. I mean the struggle meaning when I see a map and the road selling yams and things. And that is fine.
Once the price is right too.
Once the price is right. But we need to support these things in a technical area so that these people have long-term businesses and not short-term businesses.
That's right.
Or seasonal businesses. This is the aki or not dunks you're selling. When people plant, we plant based on, you may plant this time because you want to short crops. And you may say, look, we want crops to turn away to 4 to 6 weeks. You okay, I'm going to plant another 6 months crop, but we ain't know and tell yourself, you dead. So what I'm just saying, we need to have these things. We need to, correct. We need to also allow people to play trades on farm. We need to have more farmers market. I love what Barvin and I love what the Prime Minister did when she gave Barvin a new spot.
But yeah, but
we all
space, man, be fair.
We never out there. We
mean Barvin down by Andy.
Not Mighty Grainer. But we still, but here's what, and it ain't as congested as.
I agree by fault, man. Is there a shuttle? Is there a shuttle that goes on there?
I got baptized last weekend, right? Is it last weekend? Yeah. And well, thank you. You know, being with God is good, right?
Amen.
Sticking with God is better.
I am sticking with my God, right? But to be fair, whilst I was down on the Mighty Grinder Highway, right?
Not jumping though.
No, I down with that life, right? Or probably not, but hold on.
Alright,
Hold on. But whilst I was down there, I actually got to pass by the vendors market. Right, and you know I was highly impressed because
do you see people buying?
Of course,
but that market was always a market that happened.
When they moved them from down that side, cheap side, and bring it over there.
Word on cheap side, you're all clustered up and saying, man, come on.
Somebody for the audience says aquaponics is the answer.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, this is my biggest challenge, Philip, and all you guys that are on still. We are not investing enough in structure. We need structure to survive.
It's true.
I often say when you look at the white man business, it is there to last.
Structure.
When you sometimes look at black people business, some are there for a time and a season and a reason. And you often ask why my business fail because sometimes it doesn't have structure. So I'm imploring on the government that as you build all of these markets, build a table in government that can help people structure marketing plans. Because structure,
but you already have BABC, that is their job, you know.
BABC is more in the technology area. I'm not saying it's not there.
No, BABC actually has a
small
business
so here's what we need.
That small business persons can go to, that if they have to do a business plan, they assist. If you got to do accounts, they assist. Funds access, they were set up specifically for that reason. The problem that you face is that these agencies, one, do not market, and number two, when persons go to these agencies, right? When persons go to these agencies, a lot of the officers are not willing or interested in doing their jobs, and by not doing that, the public is disadvantaged.
So I can say, listen, again, I probably explain all my beings here tonight. I have a company that is in BADC, in small business, under the BADC. So I know fully well all about that. Again,
I know you, Mr.
I must agree.
You're very entrepreneurial.
Nah, I was a big entrepreneur. You know,
a conglomerate, but yeah.
People see what they want to see and perceive what they want to perceive. But as I said, I
want these businesses.
I am a businessman. I always believe in business and I love entrepreneur. I don't know what became a temper. But no, people obviously if I just show my come on, business.
I can advertise your event as well.
Of course.
Yeah, we got that.
Because Simon also holds a event every Wednesday night, guys. I went to it.
Yeah. Comedy night. So we got an open mic comedy night at the Jamestown Bar, 2nd Street Hotel. Of course, COVID-19 protocols in place. We got 3 hot comedians, up and coming comedians on for tomorrow night. We got Sun Rock, we got Biko, and we got the first time with Jason.
And you see, there's my problem. People like Simon. People like Simon is my problem. He be playing show every Tuesday, but I never know he got a comedy thing. They are poor advertising.
Sorry, man.
Poor advertising.
Sorry,
Simon.
man. Sorry, sir.
You understand? But yeah, go support.
Yeah, Jamestown Bar is the place to be on Wednesdays.
Yeah, but
I'm
just saying to Simon that we need to support, we need to strengthen and broaden these things as it relates to enough advertisement. We should be highlighting a business of the week, thing,
I don't know
and push. So I would love to see more. And I said, it's not all about the money and all about that. Sometimes people listen. If I give my son is 4 years old, if I put $1,000 in his hand tonight, you think he know what to do with it?
No.
And some of us like the 4-year-old. That people he may not even know what to do with it. In front of blood or keep it. So here's what I'm saying. If you could do that, if I can't do that to my son, it's not about just putting money in people's hands, you know. It's about helping them on their way and to spend that money. That when I give someone $1,000, it turns into 2, 3, 4. Not to give me back, but to support and continue grow in that way. And we need to do more to support the system of
you know what I would suggest? I would suggest for next.
Dayal, Chanel, Katrina just made a very valid point. We need to look at adding value to our whole food produce for export.
But we can't forget about
we can't reach the volume.
We can't reach the volume yet because some of us can't even produce enough for the supermarket.
True.
I've been privileged to travel and see exhibitions of people asked in trade shows. Simon, I've had water deals, I've had fertilizer deals all over the world from far back as Sri Lanka. And when you go there and somebody tell you, can you send me a 10-foot container every month that could go to 20-foot every month, and you look at the size of your farm, or you look at the size of your production, and you say, well, I can't even get half a container. How the hell you could talk about export? Because here's what, as somebody, I remember pomegranates, a superfruit. Now, it is a fruit that is well grown here in this country, and the man said to me, if you could give me a 10-foot container of pomegranates.
Yeah, 20 foot.
A 10-foot. They got 10 foot, 10 foot. Right? You just start 10. You always start 10 foot when you're buying certain things overseas. This is to make facial products. Because Barbados are the ground and how it produces here in Barbados, virgin soil and all that. We could buy it for you. Say let's say that's 20,000 US every month. But when you go home now and you look at the little kitchen garden or the little 1,000 square acre land you got, it cannot produce. You would at least need
10 or 20
acres to produce that. But how the hell you can get?
And that's only for 1 month.
And but here's what. You think that I'm not saying the government won't, but you think we will get that?
No.
Nah.
So we gotta left out that deal.
No.
Because we cannot honor that deal. So what I'm saying to you is, we think we could go big easily. There's something you could scale. There's something that called scalable. But there's something that, because reality, you cannot scale. Homeless is scalable in COVID. You want to know why? Because people are affected by it.
True.
So I'm just using that to show you as truth as it is. You cannot scale something when you do not have the infrastructure. And somebody tells Simon, I want to buy 20 chairs for you, but Simon's scraping them chairs by hand every month. I can't produce 2. Simon, you don't got the mass production,
Yeah,
and you don't have
system. You got
the tools to do it.
No.
Not that you can't borrow money. What I'm not saying, but you go on there and say, well, look, I got a company that want and all that. You can't get there. So a lot of times you got to play like cricket, left out. Because you cannot manage it.
True.
So people say export. What do you think we can export? What do you think we music can export? What do you think certain things can export? Because you don't have the volume to reach the people.
I agree.
So that's why I said infrastructure.
Yeah.
Building us, and we can end on this. We should have Barbados in manufacturing so high. Here's what, before we wrap up, Simon.
Yeah, man.
We should have a China. You want to go and make shoes? Simon, you come up with a brilliant idea to make the new sets of Nikes. You don't got one plan?
True.
China can manufacture that for you at 10 cents and you can sell it at $1.
Correct.
The same thing if you got produce, you know that you got hatcheries in Barbados. It's got hatcheries that you could go and buy your chicken. Got places that you could kill your chicken.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. We should have places in Barbados manufacture that when I got my produce, it's sent to get wrapped. I don't know if it is, but I'm not saying it isn't. We should have places in Barbados that if I have a great furniture idea, I can pay you to manufacture the idea. That is where we can start looking at importation.
So you're talking all about subcontracting and linkages.
But having, even if it's the government that partner with me, or even if it's businesses that invest in manufacturing that can mass produce, that I do not need to worry about if my lettuce tomorrow need to be branded. I can say, well, Simon own a place that is mass produced. You know, you got a labeling company in Barbados. So you don't have to worry about labeling. Caribbean labeling. So you can send things to Caribbean labeling and they can do all the labels for your bottles and all that. Great. We need more of those businesses along the line though of what is exportable. Because once we have those things that could, I saw a video on Facebook, aloes. So this aloes or whatever you want to call it was coming in. And as it come in, it was being squashed, squeezed into different bottles, sent off to labeling and all of that. Mass producing aloes raw.
Wow.
And we grow so much aloe.
That's right.
And it was, and wherever they send it to companies, or wherever the company want to take it, no one put it into whatever. You got it raw, it broken down. So I'm just saying, we can do things in mass production. But you know what? Us, the innovative thinkers, the people watching, need to be included in this room. No idea is stupid. Somebody wants to tell me no answer is stupid. You might get a stupid question.
You can't get a stupid answer.
But you can't get a stupid answer. Guys, we want to end on that. We had an open discussion. We want to big up our girl, Crystal Austin, who say will be here on a regular basis with us. We want to big up everybody. Wayne, Amber, Mahmoud, all those guys, Donna, Sanshia, all these guys, Shauna, Hillary. So all you guys you kept the show going. Yep. Rhonda, we want to big up. Pat. Pat is beyond here every week.
Thank you, Pat.
Pat, thank you. All those who leave us, come with us, or who whatever, we want to thank you. We are going to be looking to bring some of the live debates as well with the and give some of the parties some chance to come on the show as well. Send your people whatever you think about the show. It is structured to have conversation and dialogue. Rihanna uses aloe in her skincare. She can buy from us at great. She can buy from Barbados.
Once we can supply at a high quality.
High quality. Barbados got some of the best ability to grow stuff.
I love Barbadian.
To grow stuff. Yeah.
Barbados got the bottom of the label always says aloe Barbadiense or whatever. You know the scientific name.
Scientific. So we need to grow. I would love to open 2-3 acres and just do aloes. That's a super fruit now. That are soon to be a super fruit, just like
And it don't take much to grow.
Pear. We eat so much pear in Barbados, but you know that pear is actually used in products, facial products.
Yeah,
good Lord.
And shampoo.
And shampoos, and we both eating it. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks,
we want to see you again next week. I said we're going to have some candidates on because we know the season and the hour, the time we're in. So do bear with us to be able to have some candidates on the show. And then we will connect with you next time. We may be doing some block show, so you may see us pop up a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Sunday, or Saturday. But because of election, notice. Please and share us. Do not go without liking this page and subscribe, so you know when we coming. Have a good night, everybody. Bless. Stay COVID safe. Follow the protocols. We want to say we love you as well. Connect with you guys. Have a good one. God bless. Till next time.